So that was Apple of My Eye, and we are going to talk about the new album. And I said to you, because we've got the single, which is great, and we're going to play that before you leave here, but it's still very much a work in process. So we're not going to play any other bits from it, because at the moment there aren't any other bits yet, are there?
No, there aren't.
No.
We've got, we started it like 2 years ago, kind of started sketching it, but because of the lurgy, as I said before, everything was put on hold. So we were going to I was thinking about working out, putting the album together and going for it, but it would just take too long.
Yeah.
So, and in this age of Spotify and instant gratification, I thought it would just be better to just roll with singles and then get the album together. The album's done, like the drum tracks are all down. The songs are in kind of ready to go, but we're just going to be moving with it. And I think it kind of gives us a bit more, it gives us a bit more push to kind of, not so much, it's a leisurely thing to do, I suppose, but there's also an urgency to get it done. So, but we were in the studio, was it yesterday? And it was really exciting. Back with Paul and Dave again, so we get nothing done.
The dream team.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you mentioned the drum tracks are down.
Yeah.
So, for those that haven't experienced something like this before, just explain what the process is for you. Go into the studio and what happens first. It is drums, then I take it.
Well, it depends on the bands, I suppose. For the way we work is, the song is the song is usually completely written. We take it in. I'll play it to Dave and Paul. We'll go through the process, and then we've got. Lucky to have Martin Thomas came in. We go through the song a couple of times and Martin gets a vibe of it, and then we go right. We'll go for a couple of takes. So with that, we just mic the drums up and let it go. So I don't know how long that took actually. It wasn't that long. I think it was only a couple of weeks. But Martin.
And do you play any sort of ideas of sounds to him or to Dave? Or?
Not so much, no, because I think especially like we all know where it's kind of going to go because you're working with Paul and like with Mark and with Dave and Martin coming along when he did, but he's played with us before, so he kind of gets an idea of where it's going. But I don't say I want it like this. I'd rather them kind of put their influences in as well. But when we get down to the production of it, I usually sit down with Dave and Paul and going, I'm listening to this, or I'm like, I love this sound. But they know it's like that 50s kind of 60s sound. Mm-hmm. But it's not like we go for that sound. It's just, I think the songs aspire to that. So in a way, I'm writing towards that. But at the moment, we were kind of juggling between Little Happy Hells and Head Swims. And I said, I'd like to do a combination of the both, which is getting that old sound going, but having that, it wasn't so much newness of Little Happy Hells. There was something a bit more open and experimental. So we're kind of going for the both of those, so keep that traditional songwriting. And I've kept the songs really short and sweet as in a 50s element. But Dave's now kind of saying, and Paul's going, I like to put this on it, or have you thought about putting this on it instead of as doing something traditional? So it's
developing.
Yeah, it's developing, but it's very exciting. I mean, yesterday I think Paul did about 5 guitar parts, and it was really, really, really good.
Well,
really, really
you
good.
Talk about that sound that you like and the sound that you're after. So what I've done, because we don't have many songs to play for you, what I've said is, okay, well then share with me some of the artists or songs that have sort of inspired that sort of sound. So I know you're a big fan of the Beach Boys.
Yes.
You've chosen one of their songs.
Yes, Don't Worry Baby, which is, if you listen to it, it's really quite simple. There's a guitar going on there, a lovely little simple kit going on. It's the Beach Boys, just the harmonies. It's just the harmonies. Now, I don't know which version you've got. There's a mono version, a stereo version. And the stereo version is like completely pan left and right.
Ooh.
The mono version is much better because it's how he mastered it. So it's quite direct, straight through the speaker. But it's just... if you wrote something like that, you say, why? But I mean, he wrote it as a kind of tribute to... Who was it who did... Be my baby. Who wrote that?
It wasn't
good grief. Phil Spector. Yeah,
it is a Phil Spector tune.
Phil Spector.
Yeah.
Now, that's one of Brian Wilson's favourite songs. So you can see there's a kind of like a tribute to that, but it's just it's a summer song, isn't it?
Well, let's hear it. This is the Beach Boys and Don't Worry Baby.